thought we were going to talk about the microcosmic orbit this morning.
Yeah, we were. But um, I think I mentioned to you that an old student named Austin Gunter had written a piece about his awakening of his microcosmic orbit, and I emailed him just to get his permission to read this. I mean, it's just a formality, but he said, "Well, why don't we do a Zoom meeting?" Well, that's a good idea. Why don't you come to one of the classes and do the Zoom meeting? And he goes, "Okay, so we're going to do that not tomorrow, but next Sunday. We're going to do that. Austin's going to come, and I'm going to have him read his thing and then talk about it and let people ask questions and whatever." So, Jill, do you know what the microcosmic orbit is?
That thing that I carry around with me all the time.
All the time, absolutely. 24/7.
Yes.
Catherine, do you know what the microcosmic orbit is?
Exactly what Jill said. Something I carried with me all the time.
All the time, that's true. So, the easy way to explain it is it's a circuit that comes from the perineum up the back, over the top of the head, down the front, actually to the upper palate of the mouth, and then that's the uh, God, I'm sorry, guys, I'm just blanking out. That's the Dumai channel, right? And then the Renmai channel runs from the tip of the tongue, down the front of the body, and meets the Dumai at the perineum. So it makes a circuit around the body like this. And it's that energy circuit that allows your body to open and close like this, which is maybe the fundamental movement for Tai Chi. Um, the fundamental movement for Tai Chi is a lot like a bow and an arrow. Right? If you think of your body as the bow and you pull the string and then you release, right? So it's that relationship between the bow and the string. So that's like the front and the back channels. So the Dumai up and down the back and the Renmai up and down the front, and the two meet together. All right, at the mouth. Now, there's a couple of things you can learn from this. We'll go over this with everybody on that day. Your head is mainly Dumai. All right, everything in your head above your jaw, your lower jaw, is connected to the back. The lower jaw, the moving mandible, right, is connected to the front. So the tongue and the lower jaw are part of the front of the body. All the rest of it is part of the back of the body. It's
Makes
really
sense.
fun.
Yeah, it makes sense when you figure out where the spine connects to your skull.
Exactly, exactly. Jill, what were you going to say?
Well, what I was going to say is because one of the things that I really remember about the microcosmic orbit is to create the circuit to get it to line up as you put your tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Now, isn't it interesting that in my meditation instruction, as is taught in Shambhala, so the Shamatha Vipassana form, the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth.
There was a huge cultural wave of stuff that came from India into China. And that probably happened over a long period of time, but there were certain periods where a lot of uh, Buddhist people came into China and a lot of this stuff sort of happened. However, it also can arise, that kind of knowledge can just arise spontaneously. So our breathing technique synchronizes with the movement of the energy around the microcosmic orbit. When you do our reverse yogic breathing, right? You breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Why? Why do that? It has to do with the tongue. When you breathe in, the tongue should be touching the upper palate of the mouth right behind the upper teeth. So just kind of relaxed, right? But touching. You breathe in, it's very natural and comfortable for your tongue to be touching the upper palate of the mouth. And that means the whole microcosmic circuit is, it's like it's on, right? That's the on switch, right? Then when you breathe out, so that means when you're bringing energy in, it can come in and circulate through the whole microcosmic orbit. When you breathe out through your lips, you have to drop your tongue from the upper palate in order to breathe out through your lips. That's like switching it off. Well, why do they want you to switch it off? It's so that you don't blow the energy out with your breath. All right? You bring the energy in, and then you keep it there while you breathe out. And bring in. And if you pay attention to that, you really can feel how, well, that actually really works. You really can feel your body getting energized that way. Where if you have to, breathe like this all the time, you're going to lose your internal energies like that. Kevin mentioned, and next Sunday we'll go into this in more detail, and I'll have some pictures and whatever. Kevin mentioned the evolutionary shape of the human skull in relationship to the spine is different for human beings than for any other mammal. And that's because we are bipedal. So if this is somebody's skull, the spine comes in right on the bottom. But that's not true for other animals. For other animals, the spine comes in like this. Now, it might be a little bit more of an angle, but it's essentially to the side, to the back. But human beings, it's like this. In fact, where your spine comes in is right behind your ear. All right? It's going straight up. Now think about this. Your spine is what carries your energy through your body. If it's coming in like this, right, where's the energy going to go? It's just going to go straight on through. Mm. When it goes straight on through, where is it going? It's going to come right out here. And my theory is, and I think it's true, that's why animals like dogs and even primates like chimpanzees are prognathous. This part of their skull really extends forward because the energy is coming out like that. But with a human being, it goes like this. Now, where's the energy going to go? It's going to go straight up. What's straight up?
Great.
Your brain. They used to think, I'll just see if I can find some references to this. They used to think, for the class next week, they used to think that the brain came first. And then we developed bipedalism. That was sort of just the way everybody assumed it worked. All right? But they have discovered that's not how it worked. All right? Bipedalism came first. And then came the huge expansion of the brain. So our long distant ancestors learned to walk upright, and then the big brain developed. And why did that happen? Because they were all practicing Qigong, right? Because once they got bipedal, the energy flow went straight up into the brain instead of straight out into the lower jaw. That's my theory. It's my party, right? So I honestly, I think that's actually what happened. I'm not sure what needs to happen next, but we need to develop the heart, I think, next. Okay. So last week we reviewed move number 11, right? Which is shield body punch. And this week we're going to do again lean with back. The end of lean with back is halfway through the form. So you will be halfway through the form when you actually get this. All right? So let's very quickly review the move that we did last week, and then we'll do the whole form up to and including that, and then we'll spend some time working on the next move. We've actually done this next move before, so this will be a review, but you know, you got to go through these. You got to go through these moves about 24 times before you really start to get them. Isn't that right, Kevin? Yeah. Okay. So remember, Okay, Catherine, let me see you do it. Good. Okay, you've got it. All right. I mean, there's always things that can be tweaked and be made a little better, but you've got it. All right, that looks good. Um, Jill, I would have you do it too, but you're on a peg leg, so I'm just going to assume that you've got it. Okay, Catherine, would you do the form from the very beginning up to the end of that move? Okay, I need to go get something in the other room, so hold on for just a second.
It looked great, Catherine.
Thank you, because I don't feel that it was good, so makes me happy.
Oh, good. I enjoyed watching you. How's that? You know, it's good when it makes you feel good to watch.
Okay, you gotta pretend this is another person. I'll get to them later. Okay, the next move is called lean with back. And as with most of the moves, the lean with back part is the very end of it. All right. So you've seen this before, but we'll go through it in detail. From the punch, lean with back. All right. Okay, got it?
Complicated, no?
This whole sequence in the middle, this whole punching sequence is the most complex probably part of the form. But as with all the complex things, just break it down into pieces. All right. So let's do one piece at a time. We've got half an hour here, so we can probably get the first half of this or so. So after the punch, all right, you've done this punch, you block down. Now, blocking down means might as well put these on because I'm going to need them. Blocking down is not this. It's this. All right? You're dropping into the qua. Another way to say it is this is rotating while you drop. So you're blocking using the weight of the body, not with the strength of the shoulder. Punch. Block down. Now you're going to do a joint lock. And there's two parts to this joint lock. The first part is getting out of something. The second part is applying the joint lock. So you block down. Now you got to get out. Some guy's trying to grab you. Maybe he's grabbed you the wrist here, right? You get out of it by spinning. So again, this whole thing is rotating, and it's rotating in the same direction. But you've done two things. You block down. Maybe he's trying to punch you in the belly. You block down, right? And now you roll. And the third thing is you apply the chin-a. And when you apply the chin-a, you're going to do it over your left knee by sinking into the red kwa. Boom. So first you sink in the blue kwa, then you sink in the red kwa. Punch, sink in the blue kwa. Circle, sink in the red kwa. All right? Is that clear? I was thinking this morning, if we ever get a new student in here, I'm going to have Catherine teach them the first move. And I knew that's exactly what she's going to say. But she does the first move quite well. All right? So have her teach. Now, when you start teaching, it gets really interesting because you've got to find the structure and the language that will make things clear to the person you're trying to teach. That's your job as a teacher. And it's not easy.
I'm not a good teacher.
What's that? Well,
I'm not a good teacher.
yes, no one is a good teacher when they begin. No one's a good teacher. You learn to be a good teacher. All right? But think about what I just said here. I tried to break this down into a certain structure. Punch, block down on the right side, circle, chin-a on the left side. So it's, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Punch, block down, sink in the blue side, circle, sink in the red side. Boom. Now, I hope that's clear. If it's clear, that means I'm a good teacher. If it's not clear, then I still have work to do to figure out how to get this across clearly. So, Catherine, let me see you do this to discover whether I'm a good teacher or not. Yeah, that's basically it. One of the things that's difficult to show in video because video is so flat and it's a little difficult to get is circling the Dan Chen. So I'm going to do this instead of in the proper position. I'm going to do it in this position here. And what I want you to watch is this. That's not a square, it's a circle. It just looks like a square. All right. All right. Is all about this. So it doesn't hurt to exaggerate it a little bit. One more together. All right, watch this. After you punch, watch. You actually come up a little bit. So that you can go down. One of the difficult parts of this is what the hands are doing. The hands are doing this. Our usual figure eight. This hand is going around like this, and this hand is going around like this. They're just 180 degrees off from each other. All right. Try this just with your hands. All right. Circle. Right hand. Don't do this from the shoulder. Do it from the bottom of your feet. Now, the other hand. Okay, now both hands, all right? Whatever you do, don't think about it. I punch. Block down. Circle. Chin up. Chin up. This is the lever. This here is the fulcrum. All right. You probably don't want to do the fulcrum out at the elbow, although there are ways to do that. But usually you do this in very close to the wrist. All right, one more. All right, now you're going to open up really big. So what you're probably doing is blocking, right? Not with your hand, but with your forearm. Maybe with your hand, but certainly with your forearm. Boom. So maybe this part of the forearm. Now you're going to do another chin-na. But instead of being in this direction over your left knee, it's going to be at 45 degrees. Because what's happening is, as you're doing these movements, you're slowly starting to move into this position. And you've probably noticed this already. When you make a 90-degree turn in Tai Chi, you usually do it in 2 bites. 45 degrees and 45 degrees. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's the easier way to do it for your body. All right, so let me show you again in the proper position. Block down, chin-na. Open up, chin-na. Now I'm at 45 degrees. All right. So I'm going to be doing this not at the center, but just a little bit to the left of center. Before I was clear over here, but now just a little bit to the left of center. Jill, is this clear? Okay, Catherine, clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Watch my left foot. I'm starting the process of moving in this direction. Now, that gets me all 90 degrees here. That's why I brought this little guy up. This is another person here, right? And unfortunately, this isn't tall enough. I gotta find one that's actually like shoulder high so you can really see this. So you're doing 2 things. you're gonna catch this guy's feet like that. You're not kicking this. What you're doing is just scooching your foot along the ground. All right? Which sounds kind of funny, but what it'll do is it'll knock somebody's foot right out from underneath them. All right? Boom. At the same time, you're coming around in front like this. So the foot is coming this direction, and the upper body's going this direction. Kick their foot out from underneath, and you're going to push them right in the chest, right in the upper part of the body, and they'll fall down, hopefully. Block down, roll, reverse chin up, pull silk, forward chin up, shoulder. I'm putting my shoulder and this part of my body right up against his body. My foot is in between his feet. He's standing there and I've got my foot right in between his feet. So I'm not going to try to knock both his feet out. I'm just going to knock one foot out. Right? And I scooch my body up right next to his so that the straight line of my body is lined up right next to the straight line of his body. And then this hand, the hand that is doing the work, down, this hand up. You got it, Catherine.
Can you do it? Can you turn so I can see your back?
Yes. Shoulder, bring the foot in. So when you're done with, watch the position of the feet. This is not random. It's not like this. It's not like this. It's literally half a foot length ahead of the other foot. All right? Half the length of one of your feet. And then you're just standing there. This is a lot of fun.
Once I get it, yes.
Get a volunteer and practice this on him, right, a few times. You can practice whether they face you or whether they're facing away. If they're facing away, you stick your foot in between their feet, line your body up, and then all you do is turn your body. You're not using muscle power, you're using leverage. All right? So you get up right next to them, and then you just rotate everything. All right? And you know, who was it? Was it Pythagoras who said, give me a lever long enough and I'll move the world. Right? Get a long lever. And then knock their foot out from underneath them at the same time. Now, if if they're quite a bit bigger than you may not be able to knock their foot out. In that case, what you want to do is knock them in the back of the knee if they're facing away from you, right? So in fact, you can just pump your knee into the back of their knee and collapse their knee a little bit. You don't necessarily have to make it a big deal. It can just be a little discombuberation. It may knock them down. It may just combuberate them. And after you've discombuberated them, then you turn around and run like hell in the other direction. What's the best way to handle a fight? Get the hell out of there. You know, we have feeding stations in the back of our house, and we have a little woods in the back there. So we get lots of birds, lots of squirrels, occasionally a raccoon, sometimes a hawk or something. I have to go out and chase the hawk away and everything. It's really interesting to watch the birds with each other. They often bluff each other, but they never fight. Why not? Why do animals not want to fight? Because they don't have doctors and hospitals. So yeah, I get in a fight and prove what a big guy I am, but I'm all ripped to hell and there's no way to fix myself. All right? So they have, it works, it's a different language. All right? And it's the same with human fighting too. Why use this arm? Now you can do this without the other arm. But you do use it in the form. Why?
Counterweight.
What's that?
It's like acts like a counterweight.
Yes, that does, and so that does what?
Well, it's going to increase your power.
Yes.
Because you have something. Well, it's again like on the other end of the lever.
Yeah, it's if you have a little short string and you put a 1 pound weight on it and roll it like this, and it's just going around, right? How much energy does that get? Now, if instead of a little short string, you use a long string and you whip it around at the same speed, you're going to have a lot more energy in that weight. All right? It's not going to seem like a 1 pound weight when it hits you. It's going to seem like a 100 pound weight. So this is good. That's better. This motion increases, Kevin, what's it called? The
Centripetal force.
Yeah, your centripetal force is just bigger. And that's what you're using. You're not using your muscles per se. You're not trying to muscle this guy. You're trying to leverage that guy. All right, from the beginning. Block down, roll, reverse chin up, pull silk, forward chin up, shoulder, throw. Right? And there you are, ready to sing. Right? Very comfortable. One more. Block down and roll, reverse china, pull silk. Forward china, shoulder, throw. One more. Block down and roll, reverse china, pull silk. Forward china, shoulder, throw. All right, now I'll do some with my back to you. Block down and roll, reverse china, pull silk. Forward china, shoulder, throw. Block down and roll, reverse chin-up, pull silk, forward chin-up, shoulder, throw. Catherine, let me see you do it. You've got the basic idea. It's okay. That's the basic idea. I'm going to show you the next little move. We only got 5 minutes here, so it's not enough time to conquer this. I'll show you the next part of this move. And then tomorrow we'll review this and we'll go on and see whether we can even finish this move tomorrow. All right? All right. The next part of the move, you've actually already done it once earlier in the form. It's Buddha's warrior. When we did Buddha's warrior earlier, we did it with fists. Right? Now we're going to do it with an open palm. Block down and roll. Reverse chin-up, pull silk. Forward chin-up, shoulder, throw. Coil in. Buddha's warrior, pop, and step out. All right, one more. Block down and roll. Reverse chin-up, pull silk. Forward chin-up, shoulder, throw. Coil in. Buddha's warrior, step out. Simple. All right, practice it 10,000 times between now and tomorrow, and then we'll review everything tomorrow and we'll move forward. Okay, guys, have yourselves a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ciao.
Happy National Donut Day.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.